Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Pranzata Podcast. This is your host, Andrea Pranzatelli. This is episode number 162 on the Pranzata Podcast here on YouTube. We have a new guest who's never been here before. This is a Philly stand-up comedian who goes by the name Uncle Dud. This is his first time here. I have some questions for him today, and I'm just going to jump right into it. So,
let's go.
Actually, I didn't put this on my questions, but now I'm curious, why do you have the name Uncle Dud? Where did that come from?
Uncle Dud. Not many people know the origin of Uncle Dud, but I call myself Uncle because I've kind of always had an older spirit, I would say. Even growing up, I always was a little bit more mature than my age. So when I got like in my 20s, late 20s, a lot of people start calling me Unc, and I just took that name on as Uncle. Dud comes because it's part of my last name. I just chopped my last name in half and put Uncle Dud. So that's where the name comes from.
That's funny. That's the same thing with me. So my stage name is Pranzata, which is also a chunk of my last name, which full name is Pranzatelli, but it's just too long, so it got chopped down. So people have been calling you Uncle before you were probably ever an uncle.
Yeah, before I was ever an uncle. I just recently became an uncle. So I wasn't always an uncle, but people always call me old head Unc. So I just said Uncle Dud, you know. It feels right.
Okay, so my first question for you that I wrote here. There's a stereotype about stand-up comedians that all comedians become comedians because they have a dark history and they have a lot of trauma that they're trying to get out on stage. Is that stereotype true for you? Would you say you had a rough upbringing that led you to comedy, or what do you feel about that?
I've heard that stereotype too. I have. And let me tell you, it is true in a lot of cases. It's not something that came out of nowhere, you know, when you get around and you get in the community. But for me personally, I don't feel like I had a dark or rough upbringing. The typical upbringing in the urban area. I will say comedians are very like offbeat, offbeat, and operate from like I say the socially acceptable standards of comedians is a little bit to the left, and I identify with that. So I'll say we all a little offbeat. Some of us got some trauma we dealing with, but me particularly, we all got trauma. I don't want to sit up here and be like, I'm totally healed, but I don't think I'm doing comedy from a place of trauma. Myself personally.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I always thought that most comedians were trying to like I said, the stereotype is get some darkness out and transform it to something positive. Mm-hmm. But now that I think about it, who doesn't have like a dark past? You know what I mean? Like, is there a single human being on this earth that doesn't have something they have to work through? Like, even if you have money, like there's a certain trauma that even comes with that lifestyle as well. Like almost being too privileged can be like something you got to work through in itself, because then you have lessons to learn in that area. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I want to think like I used to do stand-up comedy, and I'm a musician. So there's a part of me that wants to be like, I'm an artist, so I'm different and I have to work all this out. But really, I think that's part of the human experience is to work your shit out. You know, we all do it in our own different forms.
Facts. You know? You can't really escape that lesson of life, that part of life. You got to take that course, work through whatever, you consider your trauma. So yeah, that's definitely a fact. We're all dealing with it.
All right, so my next question. I've seen you perform a few times. You're hilarious. Would you say that your stage presence is very similar to who you are in real life, or are they different?
Similar. For me, I know there's multiple ways you can approach the art. Some people feel like you got to be your authentic self. All art has to come from an authentic personal experience. And for me, I feel like my persona on stage has to be that. It has to be who I am on a regular, even though everything I say is not a personal experience, but I am very opinional. I don't really color inside the boxes. I'm not afraid to tackle those subjects that a lot of people just don't find appropriate to talk about in social settings. And that's kind of like my style on stage too. I'm matter of fact. I'm standing on that hill alone, whether it's funny or not. More times than not, it's funny. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would say my persona, my stage presence, who I am when I'm on stage, that is me off of stage too. Okay. I don't want to act like it's never turned off, because I am kind of I would say I'm an introvert, when I'm not on stage and not in front of the people. But that is a side of me that I bring on stage as far as my persona, my stage presence. That is a large part of who I am off stage.
Introversion, like you would say your introverted self actually shows on stage as well?
No, my introverted self doesn't show on stage. Okay. But I know a lot of people. I've done a lot of things in life as far as I've been in a lot of different lanes in life. So in the circles where, I got many relationships with people. So I am like that strong figure, that figure who ain't afraid to say what needs to be said. And I've always been that. But there is that part of me that don't want to talk to anybody, want to be in the corner and not being seen. But on stage, that is very much a large part of who I am, the person that I exude on stage.
It's funny you say that about being introverted off stage, because when I used to do stand-up, one of the things, there's a lot of reasons why I left. For one, I just didn't have the time because I'm a musician as well. So it's hard to a certain degree, I felt like I had to choose a path. It felt impossible to pursue both of those paths and imagine podcasting on top of it. But one of the things that kind of made me choose music over comedy was I thought that because I wasn't an extroverted person that I couldn't make it in comedy. Because it's just, I do see some comedians that they're like all about the stage, all about the limelight, all about being around people, that type of thing. And I was always the person who would go to the open mics and then leave when I was done.
That was me too.
I think I saw you at an open mic, and I saw you being like, all right, when's my, like, I think you said something like, all right, I only got one more to go or something like that. But it's interesting to know that, I guess it's good to know if I ever wanted to go back to it, that it just because I'm an introverted person, it doesn't mean that I couldn't make it in stand-up. You know what I mean?
You could make it as an introvert. That's the hope I'm holding on now. But I am stepping out of my shell as far as just leaving open mics after you perform now, because that comes with getting in the community and networking and people putting you on shows. When you in and out all the time, you'll still get put on shows. Yeah. Like me being an introvert, it has worked out. But I do understand the really commit to what you're doing. You kind of got to let go of the introverted ways. But I'm still counting the minutes till I'm done. I'm still thinking of my escape as it's going on.
Because I always feel like such an asshole. I'm like, all right. And I to be honest, I do it with music too. But I feel like it's different in music. Like we don't do that like collaborative thing as much in music. It's more like everyone's their own person. It's like, okay, I call up a bunch of venues and I pitch my sale sort of thing. With comedians, I feel like it's a lot more community oriented because you all have each other's podcasts, and there's a show, somebody's headlining, they need a bunch of people to open for them. So I feel like in that sense, the community is a lot more important there. And there's community in music as well. Like you work with your bandmates, and sometimes you got different bands like going on a show together. But yeah, I would always feel like an asshole like when I'm just like, I'm gonna do my shit and get the hell.
So that's your style now. After you done playing, you're like, good night.
Well, it's not even so much that I'm a selfish person, it's that I'm a morning person. Yeah. And that's another reason why comedy was hard for me, because I don't like stand up late. Like you told me you were available 6 to 12. I'm like 6, like whatever. Like I would have had you here. I would have had you here at 1 p.m. if I could. You know what I mean? I'm not. What about you? Are you a morning person?
I'm not a morning person. Okay. I've never been a morning person back when I was younger. Now I will get up. Life demands you get up, and you kind of get trained to get up. But if I had my choice, I would wake up. I would start my day 9, 10 o'clock, and then just carry it until I fall asleep. Because the comedy, like you said, there's a lot of vampire hours. Yeah, in the comedy world.
I wake up 4 a.m. naturally without an alarm. Wow. Yeah, like after you leave, I'm gonna go to bed probably by 9. Sleep through, wake up at 4 a.m. Have my coffee.
At 4 a.m. You open your eyes and get out your bed. Yeah. And what's the first thing you do at 4 a.m. to like center yourself with the world?
I'm going to sound like such an old lady, but I like sewing. So like first thing in the morning, I'll get my cup of coffee and I'll sit on the couch there with like an old clothing item and I'll sew it. That's how I literally sound like a grandma right now. Like I start my day. So like, yeah, I loved comedy and I really enjoyed doing it, but it like logistically, I was like, I don't think my body and brain are made for this. You know what I mean?
Because most mics ain't start until after 8 p.m. and it seems like you might got your night clothes on at that time.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, music's the same way. Like a lot of musicians play, but I also get music gigs on like a Saturday, my most frequent gigs lately have been Saturdays at 2, like, you know what I mean? So they don't really have 2:00 comedy shows. You know what I mean? They got like 8:00, 9:00 comedy shows.
Nobody wants to laugh that early in the day.
Yeah. If they started doing comedy like old people, like we have our 1 p.m. comedy show, I'd be like, I'm going to start doing comedy again. But
That'd
just
be
like,
great.
Yeah.
That'd be comedy too. It's a lane.
Okay. Do you feel that comedy is currently oversaturated? And if so, does that discourage you or not?
Oversaturated for sure. For sure. I mean, and I don't want to sit up here and talk like a elitist in the comedy world.
Yeah.
But I do consider myself and have been considered by other people one of the funniest comedians in Philadelphia right now. But it is oversaturated. Everybody's trying it. Anybody that ever got a laugh in a casual conversation, or some people just need therapy and they just figure out I'm just gonna go grab a mic. So definitely oversaturation, because there's no cost of entry besides the actual courage it takes to get up in front of people and put yourself on the line like that. So oversaturated, yes. Does it discourage me? No. Okay. Because I really just focus on my mission and what I'm trying to do and what I bring to the table. And I feel like I'm uniquely positioned as far as my comedy, my style, and where I'm at right now in my journey. So no, I don't really get discouraged. And in fact, if you want to get up there, even if you're not funny and never will be funny, it takes a certain bravado to be able to get up on stage every time. I know what that's like to grab that mic because there's nobody else there but you in the crowd. And so if you want to do that, put yourself on the line. Even if you don't get no laughs, go wide ahead. I wouldn't even discourage you from doing it. I mean, if you physically can get up there and do it, but it's oversaturated for sure. But no, not really discouraged by it.
Yeah. It's funny you said that about getting on the mic and everybody getting a chance to do it. Anytime I do it, that's where I met you, was at an open. Well, I saw you 2 places. I saw you perform at a show once, and then secondly, I saw you at a mic. I always get such bad stage fright, like every single mic that I do, even if I do well. I don't know if that's something every comedian experiences, but for me, I get such like stage anxiety. Do you get that?
I probably get like a form of it that I've conditioned myself in life, and I'm still conditioning myself in life, that when I'm nervous about something, I have to like kind of go towards it and do it. So yeah, there is a feeling that I get every time before I go up. But once I get for me, it's getting there. Yeah. Once I get there, I can handle whatever it is. Yeah. But there are those forces of resistance before you get there that's like, you don't really need to go on stage tonight. You could, those type of things. But once I get there and I start to fill the room, then I just kind of slowly get into game time. But it is that pit of like what you would call nervousness or anxiety there. But it's like, I'm here. I have to do it now. Yeah. So once I get there, to answer your question, yes. I just got different ways of dealing with it.
It's funny like that we're on this topic, because I started thinking about this differently literally like today or yesterday. My whole life I've been like, I'm a socially anxious person. But a lot of my friends say they need to drink in order to like go out and socialize or like to go on a date with somebody. And I'm like, maybe I'm not giving myself enough, like as much credit as I should, because I am nervous, but I don't drink or anything like that. Yeah. So maybe I'm actually dealing with maybe everybody's just nervous and I'm just dealing with it naturally.
You're dealing with it naturally. Yeah, no crutch.
Because for years I'm like, oh my God, I'm just such an anxious, awkward person. But now I'm starting to kind of reframe it. I'm like, wait a second, I think everyone is, and I'm just feeling it because I'm not drinking or smoking weed or anything like that. I live a sober lifestyle, and it's not even because I have any issues with any of that or I struggle with addiction or anything like that. It's literally because like it actually makes me weirder, like drinking, and it's never calmed me down. Like drinking has never been a social lubricant for me. Smoking weed gives me more anxiety. So I'm just like, I just gotta rock
just
this
gotta
out,
tough it out
sober. And I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I should give myself more credit. Maybe I'm not as socially awkward as I think I am. You know?
I don't think you are. You know, you definitely got to give yourself some more credit. And to be able to be an artist and not have any intoxicants, not do anything. You're in the 1%, the top 1%.
What's the bell curve?
You know how artists do. So that's really amazing. And when it comes to, I feel like just newness, period, new experiences, there's going to be that level of, because you just don't know. Even if you sung the song 100 times or played the song 100 times, it's still a new environment, a new day. So salute to you.
Thank you
for working through that and sober.
I do better in a band setting because it doesn't feel as, it's not, I don't get that anxious when I'm in a band because I'm not the only person up there. There's like all that, buffer of everybody there. But comedy, it's like all eyes on you.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I mean?
they looking at you like produce now.
But then I see some people, I mean, this is going to sound mean, but I see some people go up and I'm like, they're confident. Like, what? I know it's fucked up.
Listen.
Some people don't seem like they have any anxiety, and they're just like think they're killing it. And I'm like, if they could do that, then I should be all right.
Where's this confidence coming from? You see that a lot. Like the confidence level don't really match the funny. You'd be like, all right on, I guess.
Well, that goes back to what we were saying about the oversaturated thing. It's just everybody. Why do you think comedy's so oversaturated? Like, when I feel like it started in, like, Rogan did. I feel like Joe Rogan did it. Like, he got everybody into comedy, and now everybody wants to, like, something happened where people started listening to Rogan, and then everybody got into that, and then everyone started their own podcast. It was like this whole birth of something, and I don't know. Why do you think
planted the seed? It's for me. I feel like it's just such a low cost of entry. It's like you can just go do comedy. Like you can literally just go, like any given week in Philly, you can go get on stage upwards to 20 times for free.
Oh, as a musician, I have to carry like a tuba. Like I have to not literally
it's
a tuba,
work. You gotta have a strong
I gotta
back.
I gotta carry that keyboard with me. I gotta bring all the gear. You got to do you don't have to necessarily look great on stage as a comedian. You can come looking like shit and still be hilarious. As a musician, there's like a pressure to look beautiful. You got to do your hair, your makeup, everything. Bring the instrument with you. Yeah, you're right. For comedy, there's none of that. You can just show up in your pajamas, and as long as you're funny.
And most comedians cannot carry what you carry to a gig. They cannot.
I gotta work out just to carry my gear.
Listen, I see you definitely need some muscles on you to be able to carry that.
Yeah.
And you can get on stage 20 times at almost no cost of entry.
Yeah.
And we're living in like a time where most people's nice. They're not going to boo you off stage when you should be, but they might just awkwardly smile or not say anything.
Yeah.
As a musician, you kind of have to be good to go do a show, to go get booked. You can't go be a mediocre or below average. Well, I don't know. You can't be a below average musician and go plug into a band seamlessly. They probably be looking at you like, so.
But you kind of can get away with being a below average comedian and get booked like a local show.
You just have to be a cool, sociable person. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
Okay. All right, I have one more question about comedy, and then I'm going to move on to different topics. Cool. But last comedy question. What is the most challenging thing about being a comedian? We just said it was easy level of entry, but what's the most challenging thing about it?
For me, it's internal. It's internal. Nobody ever asked me that question, but if I would try to answer that, it's like I need to feel good about what I'm doing on stage. And I can't get... I don't like feeling like I'm stale or in the routine with my comedy, so if I do a joke, a lot of comedians and the professional comedians do this. They tell the same joke over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. They perfect it. They can do it with their eyes closed. And when you're traveling, that's good because you're going all the way around the world. You're telling this joke to people that never heard it before. I'm not traveling like that yet. So for me, I have to feel good about what I'm talking about. It has to feel unique to me. And then once I know it's funny, I need something else to talk about. It's like I need another subject to tackle. So for me, it's staying true to my art, for real, for real. It's not just about grabbing the laugh, doing anything to grab a laugh. I have to feel true to my art when I'm up there talking. It had to be coming from some type of place of authenticity to me. I'm not just going to talk about a slapstick thing just because. And just being in the journey and remaining who you are, not really conforming, because that's how I've always been in every lane I've been in life. So for me, I would say it's the authenticity piece for me, and feeling good about the art that I'm putting out. Because if I don't, I won't do it, So that's really the hardest thing about comedy for me. Just staying aligned. And I guess that feels like staying aligned with, I don't know what whatever your belief system is, who out there watching you. But I feel like when you staying true to the art and you connecting to your source, you kind of get like inspiration. I don't want to put a number on it daily, but you get new inspiration. And, when I'm in that place, I call that flow state. Yeah. And that's when I feel good. Yep. And I'm up there and I know I'm connected. But when something's off, still fighting through and pushing through and doing that can be tough.
No, you saying that's been something that's been on my mind this week in particular. I was just having this conversation with somebody earlier today about staying true to what your art is or what your mission is in the art. I feel like nowadays, because of social media, it's really easy to stray from what feels authentic for you. For me, it would be, how I podcast, like the type of things I bring up on my podcast, how I present myself as a female, what kind of music I write, that type of thing. For you, like you said, it might be like, what kind of jokes am I going to write? Is it going to feel authentic to me? I feel like now, because of social media, it's easy to look around you and figure out what's getting the most clicks.
Yeah.
Versus, so I'm sure there's some topics in comedy that if I noticed that the other comedians, they're all doing crowd work videos. Let me get in on the trend of the crowd work. I mean, if that's something you do, no shade to it, but I'm just saying, like, it's easy to follow what other people are doing. Say, he's getting a lot of clicks right now. That's trending.
Algorithm art.
Algorithm art, right? Yeah. And it almost happened to me. I was just telling this to somebody earlier today that during the election, I started talking politics on my podcast, not because I want this to be a political podcast, but because that's what was going on. So started talking about that. I started getting more views and more comments than ever. Yeah. And there was a part of me that's like, let me keep writing this. I could have, because that stuff is so popular right now. If you talk about a political opinion, that blows up. So you see a woman, talking about politics on a YouTube channel, that's just like a path to success. Yeah. But I didn't care that much. Like it was an election, so it was popular at the moment, but it's not something I wanted to commit to. So same thing, I had to like pull back and take a step back and say, this doesn't feel, if I continue down this path, I'll get the numbers and I'll probably monetize my podcast, but I'd rather not let the algorithm turn me into a product. I'd almost rather just not be successul if I have to do that.
And that's my resignation and energy. Yeah. So you're not running for senator, you saying?
No.
You're not. Okay.
I am wearing a suit jacket, though.
No campaign announcement coming this episode.
I do come from a family of politicians, though, which is interesting. Yeah. But I guess I was like the black sheep of that family, that I never wanted to pursue that. But, my dad was a councilman. My uncle ran for sheriff. Okay. It was always like a big thing in our family. So I could have followed the family legacy. Yeah.
But you were an artist. You had to go your way. Yeah. You had to go your way.
Okay, so moving on from comedy questions and a little more philosophical.
No more comedy.
No more comedy. I'm sure people get sick of the artist questions, the people who listen that, they don't do that. So here's some more philosophical, personal type questions. Do you believe karma is real? And if so, can you share an experience where karma whipped you in the ass?
Karma. All right. So the concept of karma in itself, I don't subscribe to that fully. I do believe that as human beings, the energy we put out, the things we think about, the actions we take, that's energy, and it's being released in the world. And I believe if you release enough of a certain energy, it's going to come back to you in some type of way. That type of energy, but the karma aspect is more like you do this happens. I don't think it's that, I don't think it's a flat line like that, but I do think the energy you put out in the world somehow, some way finds its way back to you. Somehow, some way. Because we all are the product of a bunch of the decisions we made, all of the decisions we made, all of the thoughts we think. I mean, that's the sum of a person if you look at them in the present time. So I do believe in you kind of reap what you sow. You kind of reap what you sow, but I wouldn't call it so much karma. But I guess loosely you can say I believe in karma, if you want to say that. Now, as far as like a personal experience where karma came back for me.
It could be negative or positive. It doesn't have to necessarily be negative.
Negative or positive.
Like when you saw the energy coming back to you in some kind of way.
I could just think of certain days, like one day, like I was just in a bad mood and I was radiating that and I was like snappy. And it just was a bad energy I started off the day with. I was choosing to go to that side. And I got into a car accident on the way to work doing a maneuver that was kind of aggressive and I didn't need to do. And I was like, that's what, and I couldn't even really be mad in the moment because I was like, I felt like I put myself here by the sequence of things that happened. But it's things that happen like that all the time. Like simple things like when you trying to reach a goal. If you're trying to reach a goal, you need to be up early. You probably need to have the same bedtime as you. Go to sleep if you need to be up early. You do things that counteract what you want. You're not going to get what you want. You do things that, promote you getting what you want or what you're working for or the idea of your life, then you'll get it. So you get in what you put out, basically.
Yeah, no, you're right about things like that happening all the time. I just heard this story the other day. My Uber driver told me the story, but he was telling me the story about how, because he's an Uber driver. So I feel like Uber drivers are podcasters, like they're having conversations with people in their backseat. But he was telling me that he had this one person in his backseat he was driving for, and he was bringing him somewhere. And the guy was telling him that he used to be a really well-known car theft. Like he used to steal cars all over the place in Philadelphia. And he eventually stopped. And the Uber driver asked him, what led you to stop? He said that he bought his first car. Like he was stealing cars. But one day he saved up money and he actually bought his first car. He went on a date with a woman first time. They went to the gas station together. And when he was going to pay for the gas, the woman on the first date stole his car. So I feel like it's stuff like that it's like that's the energy. And then he said ever since then he could never steal a car again. So I thought that was like a cool, like you said, you don't believe in calling it karma,
that's
but
one
it's
of them instant ones. It does work like that. That's why I won't say it's not a thing, because it happens to people the same way they give it out. Why don't you like
calling it karma? Is it because you're like you have a certain spiritual beliefs that
not even spiritual beliefs? I'm just like I'm just a contrarian at heart, and they put that word out there and it means a certain thing in your head when you say it, and I think the concept is just more broader than that, and it's not always in the same way, and it's not even always, may not even always be in this lifetime. You may think you ain't getting no karma in this lifetime, so that's a good way to explain it where everybody understands the concept, though. So I loosely do agree with the concept.
Dude, some days I'm like, what the fuck did I do in my last lifetime? Because I've been through a lot of shit like in my life, and I don't think I'm a terrible person in this lifetime. So I'm like, I must have stolen some car. Well, not cars. They didn't have cars. I must have stolen some horses. Stolen some horses. I must have been a guy who slept with some wives. Like I must have done something because I'm paying the price. I'm learning my lesson though. I think my next life I'm gonna be a cat. Like in my
cat and just get to chill and
just
sleep.
Get a house cat. They gotta.
I'm about to say specify.
Yeah, I think house cats that must be the final stage before you become nothing, because unless you're an alley cat, that's a different story. It's pretty rough out there. But if you're a house cat, like you don't gotta pay the bills. you have your food for you, you have the heat on, you just lay around all day, and you don't worry about laying around all day. You're not like, oh, I'm not being productive. Like, you're just happy.
Just
you know
what you do. First time I ever envied the house cat.
Yeah.
Hear you talk about it. You know what?
Look at him.
They got a great life.
Look at this.
No care in the world. Don't even care we podcasting right now.
Okay, I got a couple more questions for you. This is going to sound like a depressing question, but I'm sincere about it. I feel like we've had a rough go since 2020. Mm-hmm. It's a new year. It's 2026. Do you feel hopeful about the future?
Hopeful about the future.
Because I feel like there's a lot of like AI's getting crazy. Like there's going to be a new pandemic. Do you feel like we're going to finally turn things around for the better? Or do you feel like things are just going to keep going down?
Turn the lights off for my reply. No, but this has been a rough go these last couple of years. We've been through so much. Well, in the last 5 years, we've been through a lifetime worth of like traumas, and we just constantly getting hit with stuff. And it's like, can we get a break?
Yeah.
I think AI is what they're building to give us that break permanently. Like, I try to always keep some level of hope, and it's not in the way that they're setting up society right now with the AI and all the other bad decisions that's being made environmentally, politically. It's not really about that. It's more about in human beings. Yeah. Because even though a large number of us, is going, there's still, like, we can sit here and have this conversation. Yeah. There's still people out there planted all over the world that remember the old way and how we do things and how we come together. And I just think the fact that there are people out there like me, like you, like everybody who still wants to remain hopeful and still wants to get some things accomplished and still believe in collaboration and grassroots type of things, that leaves me hope. Because I've rubbed elbows with these people in real life. So that right there gives me hope. But if I was to turn on CNN or look at social media, that's not very hopeful. But I try to always keep my hope. Hope is one of the most important things you can have moving through a life like this. So
what do you think makes it easy for you to, because some people struggle, you're like, I always try to have hope. Why is it easier for you to always have hope? Like, is it just part of your personality, or?
I think it's from conditioning. I've always tried to look at what's next. Like what do I do next? A lot of things haven't worked out how I've planned it to work out in life. I've went through the ups and the downs just like the next person, but I try not to dwell in the downs or in the valleys. I try to really have a mindset of like, why did this happen? How did I get here? How do I get out? And I'm always like, life is to be lived every day. Yeah. Like, you wake up, it's a new breath, it's a new day every day. So me, it's always that curiosity of discovery and just experiencing new things like this. Yeah. Like this, so I'll say it's been a practice over the years. Like, every time I go through something, to focus on what I do to get out of this, or what was I supposed to learn in this situation. And that keeps me hopeful. I don't try to sit in those, valleys when I end up there. So
yeah, staying stuck in like ruminating about the past I think it's dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
It keeps you stuck. It keeps you, because I've had issues with that. I've had issues like, especially with like past heartbreaks. Like, if I had a past heartbreak situation that made me think too much, I can spend years dwelling over that situation. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like stuff like that, it kind of keeps me in my own head, and it blocks off new energy from coming my way. It does. So I agree with you there that I'm learning. I don't even want to say I've learned, because I'm still learning. I'm learning to not get stuck in the past and just like try to keep going.
It's a process.
Future. Yeah.
And I ain't master it. Yeah. I ain't master it at all. I still have to do the work daily. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. You're right. Thinking about the past. Now the past is there for a reason. It's there for you to learn from.
To protect you.
Yeah. So when you get those lessons, then it's time to like, okay, let's go forward. Yeah. But yeah, you're right.
Okay, the next question is a wild card. It's going to seem very out of place compared to the other questions. This was something that was on my mind recently. It came up in conversation with somebody, and I was like, you know what? This would be a fun podcast topic. In a relationship, do you think it's cheating if the man subscribes to OnlyFans? Is that cheating, or is that just watching porn?
Who credit card he using?
His own credit
Is it hers? It's his own credit card? Well, no, it ain't cheating then.
Okay.
That's his own credit card, his own security card, his own zip card. Zip code he putting in to do the subscription. I do think it can be a pathway if you let it take you there. Mm-hmm. But it's 2025. I mean, we live in, I don't want to say the most sexualized time because I wasn't alive forever. I would imagine they got pretty freaky in the past, but they didn't really have the technology to broadcast it like we do now. Yeah. You're seeing it everywhere. It's everywhere you go. And you know, if that's the energy you in, if you outside, I'm sure you can come across something that can have you cheating in a second if you wanted to. So just for a guy to be looking at something digitally on his phone, but he's not actually physically taking his body out. I always say this when I get into conversations like this with women in particular. You know, guys are very hunter-like. Mm-hmm. The nature of a guy is like, they want to conquer. So whenever you have a guy sitting in a relationship and being faithful, he's really fighting to do that, you know, just because of who guys are, just on the nature level. So if a guy wants to go and get an OnlyFans subscription, somebody he'll never meet and admire, I wouldn't. If you're happy with your man and you find an OnlyFans subscription and that's really the only thing you can say about this man, I think you should just let it go. See what he watching, see what she doing. Maybe you can, you know, but it's not about him not wanting you. It's not about that. It's more about like finding a way to get rid of that energy in I don't want to say in a healthy way. I don't want to make it seem like it's healthy because everybody got different standards of cheating. But for me personally, I think it's bigger fish to fry, you know, than getting upset at your man or consider him cheating because he subscribed to an OnlyFans. Now, how much is the OnlyFans too? Because it can.
So I'm gonna explain why I'm bringing this up. It's funny. The last question I just said, I think too much about the past. This is something from the past, why I'm bringing it up. But I'm not harping over it. I'm actually bringing it up because I'm finally processing it. I'm like, okay, I could talk about this publicly. Because in the past, I was like, I want to bring this up on the podcast, but this breakup was so recent that he'll know that it's connected to him. But I feel like it's been so long that no one's going to know who I'm talking about at this point. So, and it came up recently in conversation with somebody, but I actually had a boyfriend that we broke up, and that was one of the main reasons that I broke up with him for. It wasn't the only reason though. So to like kind of agree with what you're saying, it's like, if that's the only thing you can find wrong in the relationship, maybe you got to look at other things. There was other things wrong in that relationship too. Like we weren't that sexual with each other. So that's the other thing. Like if your man's not really approaching you and he's doing that. Yeah. So the way I look at it, so I do agree with you. I think men are hunter-like by nature. I respect that. I have nothing wrong with that. The way I look at it is I don't have any problem with porn. I don't think OnlyFans is porn. I think it's something different. Now, in porn, when you go on a porn website, you're watching all kinds of different people doing their thing, right? You're watching different videos, different fetish stuff you're into, different, topics. I watch porn. It's not a big deal to me. I feel like with OnlyFans, because this is going to sound funny, but at the time I was confused. I was like, wait, is he just watching porn or what is he paying for over there? I actually went on myself and I subscribed to some girls' OnlyFans and I was like, let me do a little investigation and see what this is about. Maybe I can understand it. When I went on there, have you been on there? Because if you haven't been on there, you might not know what I'm talking about.
I may have.
I
may have.
Okay. So when I went on there, I could barely see anything. Like they didn't even show their tits or nothing. I felt ripped off. I was like, I just did an investigation here and I want to see some tits. What the fuck? And I felt like a lot of the appeal was like, message me. If you want to see my tits, you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay more. So I'm like, wait a second. Okay. Porn is one thing, But I feel like technology is moving the sex industry, and there's sex robots and there's all kinds of things happening that I don't know what's what anymore. So the way I looked at it, I'm like, you're barely approaching me for sex. I'm the one initiating sex all the time. You're not very affectionate. You don't talk very much. And you're paying for what? I don't even know what you're subscribing to. Like, okay, you're right. If somebody just went on and paid a $5 subscription fee and just treated it like porn, and he was a great guy and your sex life was good, wouldn't be a huge threat. But I'm just like, when I went on there, I'm just like, what the hell are you even paying for? I don't see what you're getting out of this unless you're using the chats or you're like buying custom content. And I'm like, there's got to be a line somewhere. It's like, yes, enjoy other women. I mean, funny enough, even to a degree, and I know this might sound crazy, but if I trust a man, the idea of him like checking out other women is actually a turn on. Like not because I want him to cheat on me, but because it's like, I trust you and I'm attracted to the fact that you're a vibrant sexual man. If there's trust there, I think that's all a good thing. But I feel like the line has to be drawn somewhere. And it's like, what is that? Like, I don't see what someone could get out of that they couldn't just get for free looking at, you really just Google so-and-so's OnlyFans and find pictures. You know what I mean? So
there's nothing I can say to defend that point because honestly, there's nothing that you can see on OnlyFans and pay for that you can't go see for free. Because that's why I thought always it was cheating, going to be like, a fact.
Yeah.
But people out here starting in the businesses, he might be supporting the business. But what you seen when you logged in probably, and I read this somewhere, I don't know this for a fact. What you seen was when you first sign up, it's free pages you can subscribe to, and those are about nothing but upselling you. It's like when you come to that seminar for free. And
no, I paid $10.
Oh, you paid it.
I paid
and they still was doing that?
They were in bikinis.
Oh yeah, that's
and
crazy.
They sent me a message too. They were like, "Do you want to go to the zoo?" They didn't say it. They said she wanted to go to the zoo or something. She sent me a message.
She wanted to go to the zoo.
She sent me a message saying she wants to go to the zoo. And it was probably a bot. She's probably trying to get some man to say. She's probably trying to get some guy to say like, "Oh, can I take you to this?" You know what I mean? She's trying to get that. And it was just all bikini pictures, and it was like, "Hey, if you want to see my tits, send me $10 in the DM." So I'm just like, this is different. I'm sorry. This is different.
Yeah, you was in a sales funnel. That's what you was in. And there's a lot of that on OnlyFans. But I really do understand your point though, as far as like, number one, how much are you paying? Number two, what are you paying for?
Yeah.
Number three, why are you seeking online when you got real in front of you? So fellas, if you're not really engaged in your sex life like that, to go to OnlyFans, that makes no sense. Start at home and then build everything off of there. You may not even want to spend no money on OnlyFans. So I can't really defend that. The scenario I build, I can defend.
I think the scenario you built was like some guy looking at a porn site, innocently clicks on a link, looks at it, jerks off, and goes about his day.
Yeah, very innocently.
I think that's different. But in my case, this was like a obsessive, addictive thing, and I wasn't getting any attention in the bedroom.
That's
cheating.
Yeah, because you are replacing the energy. That we should be sharing in this lane, and you're spending it somewhere else. Now that is a big addendum in what I was saying. Your woman needs to be satisfied. That's the first thing you need to do as a man. Your woman need to be satisfied. You ain't gonna hit all marks, but you should definitely try to make sure she's physically satisfied. That's something you could work on, and if you can't do it naturally, you can improve it with effort. So start there.
I heard a guy today said he has a small penis, and he says that his trick is he just goes down on the woman for a long time.
Yeah, trick them. Go down and hop up. God don't make no mistakes. If you was born like that, then you got to get good at other things. You can't cry about it. Make
have hope for the future. You got to have hope.
There's somebody out there with a very small opening for you.
It's funny you say that. I say that all the time. Not for every small dick, because there's too many. Not for every small dick, there's a small vagina that needs it.
That is optimism for you. That's hope. That's hope.
And now I feel bad saying this, unless you have a micro penis. Is there really a micro vagina? Probably not.
I never heard that term. And I'm going to Google it after this podcast.
I don't think there's a micro vagina or there's a need. That's so sad, but there's got to be a need for a micro penis somewhere. I don't know where the
they might study it. I don't know. If you dealing with that problem, brother, get a lot of money, work out, do other things that women like about men. There's always an answer. There's always an answer, you know.
Or get really good at eating pussy.
Yeah, you can really perfect that. You can perfect that. And you should. Yeah. If you haven't and you're dealing with that, start today, please.
But it also sucks when a guy is so attractive that he doesn't put any effort into eating pussy.
You know what? I like to tell people in the beginning, especially like beginning the relationship, I tell them I'm Jamaican because, you know, Jamaican men, they don't eat, you know, they don't do that. They think it's blasphemy to give a woman oral sex.
Well, is that real?
They do. They do. I don't know if it's like a religious thing over there or just
it's bad for you.
It's the man. He like the men don't do that. Jamaican men. If you meet a Jamaican man, well, he got to be of a certain age because, you know, these new generations of every culture, they saying forget whatever we wasn't doing sexually. But it is like a known thing that Jamaican men don't do it. So I joke like that when I met people all throughout my life. I be like, I'm Jamaican, but no, you do need to put effort into that. And even
Jamaican man, what the fuck?
Yeah, man.
Do this.
She won't be dating a Jamaican man. No.
I mean, I have a boyfriend now, but he never. I should have never even thought of a Jamaican man my whole life. This is crazy. This is my first time hearing this.
Yeah, it's a thing.
What the fuck?
Yeah. They don't do it. They don't do it. I don't know about the new ones, the Gen Zers.
They better learn. They got to learn.
The old ones, they didn't do it. But
they must have big dicks then.
I wouldn't know. But I would imagine that if you're going to sit there from the beginning and say, I'm not doing this, you better be very proficient in other areas because that's a large part of what we do here to get pleasure.
In the United States.
On this planet.
All right. So I have one more question for you. So steering away from that question, it's more of a philosophical type question. Can money buy happiness, in your opinion?
Now, I call myself a philosopher. So when you ask me questions, I'll answer from what I think my perspective is, and then I'll keep peeling back layers from what may not even be my perspective. But just for this question, I think it can. Now, if we talking happiness as a whole, like it's not going to complete your happiness circle. But to say money can't buy happiness, I just don't think that's true because there's plenty of things you can buy with money that can give you happiness. Some people out here struggling with housing. You know, you can buy a house and secure your whole financial situation with money, and that would bring happiness in that area. Would it cure your happiness that is deep down inside and you don't really know where to assign it to, or maybe things that's under the surface? It's not going to make you a happy, complete person, no. But I do think money can buy happiness. But to answer that question completely, no, completely, it can't buy happiness completely because some of the richest people in the world are unhappy, and we got real examples of that.
Yeah.
It can make a hell of an attempt, I feel like, though.
I would say I agree with everything you said, like completely. Because so I would say that money can buy happiness as long as it fulfills as long as you have enough money for the basic needs. As someone who struggled with money my whole life, I'm really happy when I could pay my rent on time. Yeah. When I'm like, fuck, like, I mean, it's the beginning of the month now, so this is applicable, but some months I'm like, fuck, I might get a late fee. I might get a threat from the landlord to get evicted if I don't pay my rent on time. And I'm stressing out. I'm freaking out. I'm anxious. Mm-hmm. When I get money to pay my rent on time, I'm happy because I don't have to fucking worry about it. And then I also agree with the further part of your statement. It's like, but it's not the complete thing. I think once you get past your basic needs being met, you have your clothing, you have your shelter, you have good food. Some food makes me really happy. Like a steak and lobster, like with butter, like to dip the lobster in. Mm-hmm. If I had to choose that over oatmeal, that's making me really happy.
Oh yeah, for
but
sure.
Once you have those needs met, and once you kind of get some of those things, like if you have too much luxury, it kind of loses its flair a little bit. If you're having steak and lobster every day, then it kind of becomes the new standard. So once those things are out of the way, then no, I don't think it can, like you said, make complete happiness. But as far as like basic things, I mean, therapy is supposed to help you stabilize your moods. With money, you can buy a good therapist.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts. You can money. It's unfortunate, man. We live in a society to where you need to produce some type of income. You need to have some type of money at your disposal, and a lot of people go their whole life never really having real access to money. And on the level that we're talking about, those basic needs are not guaranteed to be met on a month to month.
Yeah.
So when they hear that question, can money buy happiness? They like, hell yeah, give me the money. I'll show you. Because just the root level of living is you constantly worrying about these things and producing these things until we expire. So in that level, like you said, yes, it can buy happiness for that person. But once you get those met
then it can go in the opposite direction. If you have all the needs met, if you have all your financial needs met, and you have luxury, you can actually become less happy to a certain degree if it becomes too luxurious.
Because money changes things. Money changes people, things. Because if you got too much money and your friends know, everyone around you know, you probably are going to be lacking real relationship and real connection. You probably barely see anybody authentic self. So you have every basic need met. You can go anywhere, anytime. You can always find a person to go with. Yeah. But there's going to be that level of what do you call it? That level of realness, connections with the people around you, authentic experiences that are detached from whether or not you're rich or not. So it brings on a whole nother set of problems. I would say just inherently at the root level, probably no single thing can buy the happiness.
Yeah, and what is happiness anyways? You know what I mean? Like, how do you even define that?
It's fleeting. And it feel really good. Don't get me wrong. It feel good when you're happy. But it's just one emotion of the plethora that we feel.
It can't possibly be steady. And I don't even think you would want it to. No. It wouldn't mean anything if you were always happy. You know what I mean?
Facts. Like you don't like the cold. So when it get warm, this cold is making you appreciate when the weather is nice. Yeah. But you're right. You totally spot on when you say that. Like, you wouldn't want it all the time. It wouldn't be happiness anymore. It
wouldn't mean anything.
It'd just be like, you're right.
You can't, I guess things only have meaning in contrast to the other thing. Without the other thing, it wouldn't even stand out.
They all add up to something.
Yeah.
Even the stuff that don't feel good and you don't want to happen or you want this to be over with. No, it's adding up to something. Yeah. It's making the happiness that more meaningful. It's making the oatmeal is making the steak and lobster. It tastes that much better when you finally dip it in that butter. You had a flashback because you was literally dipping in the butter when you was talking about it.
No, so I had for Christmas, my boyfriend's family gave us like a gift certificate to a seafood restaurant, and we're going tomorrow. And ever since, it made me so happy to get that card, because ever since I got that seafood restaurant gift card, I've been thinking all week about dipping the lobster in the butter.
It's coming. You know it's
I haven't had it in years. I haven't had lobster in years.
Yeah.
When's the last time you had lobster?
The last time I had lobster was, I think I tasted lobster one time. Because I don't eat seafood.
We're some poor motherfuckers.
One time, it can buy happiness. I want lobster. But no, I tasted one time, and but I don't eat seafood, so I'm not really.
It's not really like your. So what would be like your dream meal if we're talking about like this is the steak?
The steak is just always it. The steak is just always it. A good T-bone, ribeye. You know, any type of bone-in premium steak. I have, but I prefer to go out, get it prepared to me.
Rare or medium?
I like mine medium well. Look, you like,
I like I like it red and bloody. Like
Yeah,
I want
you like
I want the juice dripping.
Now I've had it closer to that side when I was in college. We had like a football dinner, and the coach bought steaks, and that's just how they was eating their steaks. They wasn't
you like
asking.
it, or?
I actually did, but coming from the urban culture, they think if you see any type of pink in your meat, it's not done. They don't want to see no pink, and that's definitely overcooking the meat. It's definitely overcooking the meat. So I used to say, well done, everything. Well done, one done. I graduated to medium well. I don't mind seeing pink.
I'd like to see you graduate to medium.
We got to work on that. You hopeful in 2026.
That's the juice is the best part.
Tastes like butter.
Yeah.
Tastes like butter.
Anyways, we're going to end the podcast on a positive note. Believe it or not, that was an hour. That's crazy. I feel like it went by so fast. But it was the Pranzata Podcast, episode 162.
162.
This was Uncle Dud, everybody. Philly stand-up comedian, one of the funniest in Philadelphia. I'm going to include his links to his Instagram below. If anybody is from this area and wants to check out a local show of his, is there anything you want to let them know before we end the podcast?
Yes. You can follow me at Uncle Dud TV on all platforms. I say I'm a philosopher. I do call myself a modern day philosopher.
I like that.
I got an entertainment company called No Box Entertainment, and it's because I don't think I fit inside any boxes, and I like throwing events that don't fit inside the box but are pleasurable experiences. So you can follow me and tap in with that. I do got a show coming up January 9th at Scooby's Lower Level Lounge. It is the New Year Comedy Showcase, Laughing New Year Comedy Showcase. It's headlined by Pound Cake. It's featuring, she's super funny. Featuring Savion, Michael Beavers, Zilla, and hosted by me. So tap in if you see this in time and it's not the 9th yet. Go tap in, follow me, and come on to the show and laugh. We got some good things in store for y'all.
If I'm not doing anything, then I might if I could stay awake. If I don't go to bed.
You're up, if you up, come
if I don't
through.
go to bed early, I might check that out because I love Pound Cake. She's been on my podcast before too. She's awesome.
Pound Cake is amazing.
Yeah.
Pound Cake is amazing. So just tap in with me. I like tapping in with creators. You want a link, you got a podcast, you want to shoot some content. We open to all things in 2026. So just tap in with me, Uncle Dud TV.
That's it. Uncle Dud, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. Have a good day. Bye.
Have a great day. And thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I enjoyed myself.